Welcome back, eSIM Studios YouTube channel. Back at you with another live stream. Some more tech news. Sorry about that. I was trying out a new software. Couldn't get it to, oh, I got it to work, but anyways, back to StreamYard. So, appreciate everybody for joining me. Sorry about that. If you're just watching this on the replay, I tried to use another streaming software, and it absolutely blows. It was a mess. So, appreciate you joining me on this Wednesday afternoon, March 18th, 2026. Got some interesting stuff that we're going to get into. A good debate, a good thought. Reddit is sometimes like on this I'm about to show you. Sometimes on Reddit threads, you'll see, I think Reddit is, do any of y'all use Reddit? I think Reddit is for like the more in-depth, in-touch, intellectual people that like to read, go in-depth on topics, use Reddit, right? And I came across this post, a person that's very upset with Pixel, and I'm about to show you. And I wrote this long, not long, but it was like a good paragraph. I spent about 5 minutes typing my thoughts down. And then before I hit send, I was like, what am I doing? So I just copied, selected all, deleted everything, and just didn't even leave a comment. I was like, whatever. I'll discuss that on the show today. So we have Pixel users not so happy. And we're going to get into some Samsung stuff. Obviously, you got some more information and news in regarding Samsung phones, devices, specifically tailored to the S26 Ultra. Now, if you want to give me just 1 second, I need to text my daughter real quick that I'm live streaming. She's asking me if I can do something for her, so give me 1 second. Hang on 1 second. All right. So I wanted to get into, and then some interesting stuff about accessories for the S26 Ultra. So I hope everybody's having a good day. I'm going to put the comments up here. And Semper Buffo, if you're still watching, yeah, if you could email me when this is done. Again, you won the giveaway yesterday. I looked for our conversation a few minutes before I went live this afternoon. And for whatever, I have like 12 or 13 email accounts signed in on my device. Couldn't find it. So if you could email me, I would appreciate it. esimstudios@gmail.com. I'll get you your prize from yesterday's show. But let's do this. Let me show you this post, exactly what I'm talking about. Hey, what's going on? Braden Mercer, appreciate you joining us today. Let me pull up this real quick. Let me go here. And it's so long, in fact. This post is so long. I had to use Gemini to condense what they were talking about. But let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So here's this article on Reddit. I did not link it below. I probably will after the show. So if you want to take a look, you can. But it's interesting. So, and I have this on the thumbnail. So we're going to talk a little Pixel. We're going to talk a little iPhone, the industry as a whole. Because in this post, posted about 10 hours ago, the title is, Dear Google, I love you. I'm exhausted. Now, I'm not going to bore you with reading the entire thing, right? I'm sure a lot of people would click off of this video. But let's look how long it is. Check this out. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, roughly almost 15 freaking paragraphs. Was this a college thesis? I don't know who has that amount of time on their hands. Holy crap. If you're going to write a 15 paragraph post, it's got to be really bothering you. Now, if you do, and I'll link it afterwards in the description of this video. So when it's done, give me a few minutes, come back to the video, open the description box, and it'll be down there. I think so. Let's do this. Let me show you what he was talking about, right? So I copied and pasted the entire text in Gemini, and I said, summarize the following text, right? So essentially, this is what they're complaining about. The golden era of computational photography. We'll get into that. The tensor decline. We'll get into that. The video and ecosystem gap. We'll touch on that. Software losing the thread. Okay, we'll talk about that in a conclusion of some sort. So I'm not sure if any of, well, I take that back. I know a lot of my viewers are Pixel users. I am, again, I say it all the time. I'm a lifelong, I have to, and it sucks that I have to preface this before I get into something, because when I put out those videos in regards to, just a few days ago, in regards to the display issues Samsung was having, or the water in the camera lens, I get called out for being a basher, a Samsung hater. Now, it's obviously from people that have not viewed my channel, right? It's just somebody that probably clicked on the video for the first time, like, oh, you're a hater, you're bashing Samsung, oh, you're probably an iPhone user, you know. But I'm just putting it out there. I've owned every Pixel ever made, every Nexus. I even owned the very first Google phone, the G1. Y'all remember that? You got to be probably my age, 40 or above, to remember that. It was like in 2006. Anyways, so, and I will continue to buy Pixels. So I'm not a Pixel basher, right? But here on this channel, I just call it like I see it, right? Now, we're going to get into where Pixel stands in the ecosystem. I'm just honest, right? If something sucks, I'll tell you it sucks. If I like something, I'll let you know. Like, what's so hard about that, right? I think a lot of viewers, and myself included, get a little, not necessarily brainwashed, but influenced in how we perceive something. And I'll say it again, I'll be the first to admit, yeah, that's why, just as of recently, in the last month or two, I kind of scaled back on the tech YouTube channels that I watch, because I don't want to get brainwashed. I don't want to get influenced or have my opinion swayed a certain way, right? But in regards to this Pixel, I have a love-hate relationship with Pixel now. And as of the Pixel 9 Pro XL, that was my main daily driver for a long time, like 8 months, right? Until the S25 came out. Even when the S25 Ultra came out, I still had my Pixel 9 Pro XL. That was one of my favorite phones until it went haywire with downloading the beta program on it. So I'm hashtag Team Pixel. I'm a Pixel supporter, but it certainly has its shortcomings, right? And I think the person that wrote this long ass thread is basically fed up with where he's at in the ecosystem, and some of his claims are legit, and some I have no idea what he's talking about. But everybody's different, right? I get that. I try to walk into everything with an open mind. And I mentioned that on one of my previous Samsung display, right? The Samsung display thing, right? The PWM, the eye strain. It's amazing. Some people it will affect, and some people it won't. So what affects me won't affect you, and what affects you probably or might not affect me. Now, let's jump into his issue with the photography. So he was saying, and I've said this too, that when in 2016, jumping from the Nexus to the Pixel was a huge thing. It was Google turning the page when it comes to hardware. Nexus was more geared towards a developer phone, right? And the Pixel was more geared towards, now I'm going to say it, but don't freak out, towards their iPhone era, meaning They want to have a hardware, a phone that they can be proud of, a flagship phone that's a staple of the company, right? And I think they did that. I think they did that. Now it could be questionable, right? We've seen the Pixel 6, the Pixel 5 wasn't really too much to brag about. And you had the Pixel 3 XL with the big ass teardrop thing coming down from the roof. And look, the Pixel 1, the OG Pixel, legendary. But getting back into their cameras, that was their flagship staple. It was the camera department. And when you name your phone a Pixel, sort of has to be, right? And that's my favorite thing about Pixels is the camera, right? Staple. I hold it in very, very high regard when it comes to any other phone. And in my personal opinion, if I had one phone, if I could have one camera phone, one phone to take pictures with, it's a Pixel, hands down. Now I know the Oppo Find X9 Pro has the very best DMXO mark scores. I get that, but I've never used an Oppo phone before. Not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying Pixel is my go-to, right? Because technically you can buy an Oppo here in the States, but they don't necessarily have official Oppo sales, meaning you can't go to their website and buy it. So the Pixel is where it's at for cameras. Now, this person on Reddit is having a problem with their computational photography, meaning how after you snap the photo, though that 1 second where it buffers and then it spits out the image, the final image, well, he has an issue with the photo not looking true to life, looking over processed. Now, I see what he's saying, but I don't think it's that bad. He wrote 2 long paragraphs just on this alone. I'm not going to bore you with it, but that's basically what he said. I don't have a problem with it, but again, everybody's different. So I don't really see, and we're going to go through these. There's just a couple of them, and we'll try to run through it. I don't want to bore everybody, but we'll add it up and see if he's got a fair claim or not, right? How's it going? Thank you for joining me today. Pixel devices like previous Nexus line was made for developers, not really high-end. Google don't care about hardware. I think they do, but they did not in the past. No, I'm not going to say they don't care, but let's face it. My favorite, like top 3 favorite devices is the Nexus 5. And then the 5X is right up there. They're in my top 5. I thought that was the sweet spot for Google and or Nexus. And look, those phones are made of plastic, right? But now they're glass, they're metal. I think they cared. They just didn't have a flagship budget line, and that's why they moved into Pixel, right? I think now they have a good hardware. I do right now. When it comes to the outside. Tensors, the silicone inside is a different story. Question, get the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra or wait for the Google Pixel 11 Pro XL? Yeah, Daniel, I had that same, I swear to God, I had that same discussion with my wife this morning. The exact same discussion. Should we stick with an S26 Ultra or should we get the Pixel 11 Pro XL? Now, knowing me, I'm going to go ahead and buy the Pixel 11 Pro XL, but we're going to get back into this. I don't want to get sidetracked, but I do want to answer Daniel's question because it brings up a very, very good question. Now, we have to roll into what can we expect with the Pixel 11 Pro XL. Now, we maybe last week, got leaks and or renders of what it looks like. Newsflash, it's going to look the same. Now, that's okay. I said this last week. I'm all right with Google sitting on this design language for another year, maybe 2. It's a beautiful looking phone. I can't find many people that think it's ugly, right? Some are like, it's all right. But most people are like, it looks good. So it's going to look the same with maybe some slight adjustments on the camera bar, right? On the back. And then what are you going to get as far as you basically know what you're going to get. You're going to get the Tensor G6. It's not going to wow you, right? But we'll get to the Tensor later in this thread. So it's going to have the Tensor G6. gonna have 16 gigs of RAM. You're gonna get the storage. It's basically gonna be a refresh. My only deal with them is their 200 charging cycles. After 200 charging cycles, they reduce the battery capacity by 80% and reduce the charging by 50%. A Pixel 10 Pro we have in here takes damn near an hour and a half to charge, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's why I stated out by saying I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Pixel, even though I'm still going to buy one. It depends on what you use your phone for. It depends on what you're going to use your phone for. Now, I want to finish answering this question because it's going to roll into the end of this thread that we're reviewing. So if you just want to give me a minute, we'll roll through the rest of this and we'll compare everything in a whole, right? So he has an issue with the over computational photography processing after the photo was selected or taken, right? And then we get into the tensor and another 2 or 3 paragraphs into the tensor. I started reading, like, I started getting through the camera part, and I was like, Jesus Christ, how long is this post? And I was like, I'm not going to read this. I read about half of it, but I was like, let me just throw this in summarize it. So the tensor. He has an issue with tensor, and I think a lot of people do, right? There's a fine line with Google Tensor, even whether you are cool with it or you're not cool with it. There's not many that are like, it's okay. I'm maybe one of the rare people that say it's okay, even though you've probably heard me once or twice say it sucks. It doesn't really suck. It's just what we're used to using your phone for. If you're a gamer, you're probably not going to like it. If you don't game at all, should be fine, right? I edit a lot of videos on my device. Honestly, most of my YouTube channel is run from my phone. Maybe hard to believe, but I do some stuff on my computer here. But look, I'm not editing. I'm not making a movie here with my devices, right? If I was making a movie, if I had a huge production team like MKBHD or some of these other YouTubers, obviously everything would be done on iMacs probably. That needed a lot of GPU power. But I'm just doing little cuts, adding graphics, doing this, doing that. I can do all that on my phone. If you're in my shoes, Pixel might not want to be the device that you want to use for rendering 4K videos. It can certainly do it, but why use a Pixel that would take twice as long when you can do it on a Snapdragon device that does it very fast? See what I'm saying? But if you don't game, if you don't render 4K videos, you should be fine with Tensor, honestly. I know it's not Snapdragon level of performance, but again, operating system smooth, everything runs fast, apps open up quickly. It can essentially do anything and everything your S26 Ultra can do. So I think I'm going to contradict myself. I think we put too much emphasis on benchmarks. And look, benchmarks are only relevant to those that game and or do heavy video editing. I don't know why I couldn't spit that out. But he has an issue with it, this Reddit thread. So the transition to Google's custom tensor chips is cited as a turning point where this user began to really degrade on Pixel. He notes the hardware reliability problems with idle battery drain. I mean, I haven't had any crazy battery drain with Pixel. Overheating. I have had overheating, but that was on the Pixel 7 Pro. We're 3 generations past that. I don't think that's an issue now. They put Jesus, why is my brain not working today? Vapor chamber. There we go. They started putting vapor chambers in the Pixel 8, Pixel 9, now Pixel 10. So since my Pixel 7 Pro, never had an overheating issue. Stuttery animations. I had stuttery animations, however, the last Pixel I used as my daily driver was on the beta program. Now, when you're running your Pixels on beta program, you're gonna have to expect some stutters every now and then. But on my other Pixels that I have here, that's on the stock stable software, I don't have any stutters, right? Pricing. He had an issue with pricing. saying, how can you charge over $1,000 for this Google Pixel 10 Pro XL? He says it's outrageous. He said it's blasphemy. He says he won't do it anymore. Okay. Over processing. While Pixel's once made photos look real, the author claims recent models over sharpen and over smooth images to an artificial degree. That's up for debate. I think they're fine. Let's see. The video and ecosystem gap. So here's an issue that a few people have said they have issues with. I don't really have issues with this. If you have a Pixel, please let me know in the comments. If you have, because this is one of the most debated topics in the comments underneath this thread, is the video. He has a major issue with recording video. Now, the only thing I could think of, again, lifelong Pixel owner here. I've recorded thousands of videos on Pixels, 4K, 1080p, 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, rear cameras, front cameras. The only thing I would improve is the OIS, the optical image stabilization, when recording video. There's a video I have. Let me show you real quick. Do I have time for that? No, I don't. So I did a video when the S25 Ultra came out. It was about this time last year. I shot a video, I think it was a YouTube short, where I showed front-facing video camera from the S25 Ultra and from the Pixel 9 Pro XL. At that time, that was the latest Pixel out. And you could tell that the Samsung was a little smoother with just the flow of the video, right? The recording, it was on the front-facing selfie camera. It was a little smoother than the Pixel. Pixel wasn't bad, but you could tell a difference. That's the only time I've ever been like, yeah, it doesn't really compare. That's the only time. Everything else, I don't have an issue with. Now, let's see, that was in 60 frames per second, I believe. It was 4K 60 front-facing selfie camera. This dude has an issue with video quality overall. He describes it as glitchy when switching lenses. Yeah, so Google has notoriously a camera glitch when you're recording video and you're going 5x or above on zoom when you're recording video, because that's when the Pixel switches sensors on the back of the phone. So when you're from, I guess, 0.6x to 4.9x, it uses the main sensor when recording video. When you go to 5x or over, you can see it glitch. I've made numerous videos, tons of videos about that with each Pixel release as I've had this channel. As soon as we get a new Pixel, one of the first videos is, oh, let's see if they fix that camera glitch, or the video zoom glitch. But that's normal. Now, I tested it on my S26 Ultra today. There's a slight transition when I think theirs is 5.1x and over. I tested my S25 Ultra. There's a slight glitch when it switches sensors. Not drastic, and Google's used to be drastic. Now, I tested them on our Pixel 10 Pro XLs, and the glitch is essentially gone. So it's not any worse than what Samsung has right now with the S26 Ultra. So it took them, they've had this glitch forever. And literally, this is the first Pixel I've seen where there's a dramatic reduction in glitch when they switch sensors on the back. So that's essentially gone. He also mentioned, so he has a huge issue with that, but they've almost eliminated that. Now, check this out. So, and if you just joined us, I'm reviewing a super duper long thread on Reddit where apparently this person is a lifelong Pixel lover, but he's exhausted. He can't take it anymore, and he's done with Pixel. And I'm going over the stuff he was complaining about and stuff with my experiences, and a lot of his experiences, I don't see where he's coming from, because either I don't have them or they fixed them. So, and it's long. It's like, that's why I'm not reading it, because it's like 18, what did I say, over 15 paragraphs. So check this out. So software losing the thread. So he's complaining about a lack of polish in Android 16 in the Material U or Material 3 design language. The author lists death by 1,000. Hold up. I wonder, just hit me. Material U on Material 3. I wonder if this person is even real. I wonder if they used AI, because that's when I first started reading this. There's a lot of hit pieces on Reddit where they'll complain about a phone or a feature or say it sucks or it's trash, but they're like secretly an Apple fanboy, but they go in the Samsung Galaxy threads and say, oh, I'm having all these problems with my phone. This phone sucks. I can't do this. I can't do that. But they don't even have the phone. See what I'm saying? They want to give Samsung a bad name. I see it all the time. So I'm like, Gemini puts Material U in quotation marks. We don't have Material U. It's Material 3. So either he's mistaken or he's using an old phone. That's the other thing. What phone is he using? If he's still having the glitch in your video, they solved it. So, well, at least in the Pixel 10 series, that's all I have here. So I don't, look, I don't know, but let's see what he says. Death by 1,000 cuts. Alarms failing to trigger an RCS connection drops. What year is this guy living in? I haven't had any RCS issues in probably 2+ years. I don't know about y'all. I change phones a lot. Do you remember back in the day when you used to change phones? The proper thing to do would go into Google Messages, go to your settings, and disable RCS chat before you eject your SIM card. And when you put your SIM card in your new phone, you go into Google Chats, you go into settings, and you activate RCS chat. That was a few years ago. Now, I was just thinking about this the other day. I've been putting my main SIM card in about 3 phones in the span of about 3 days. And you don't even have to go into the settings and toggle the switch. Everything just works perfect now. Meaning they've improved over the years. I haven't had an RCS connection drop in years. So I don't know what the hell this person, I don't know what they're talking about. Let's see, persistent UI glitches, status bar flashing, stuttering Google feed. Have any of y'all had that issue? I'm wondering if he's on the beta, because there's no way one person's having these many issues with one phone. That's why I'm starting to think, like, is this a real person? So they're talking about poor background app management and confusing settings menu. Pixel's confusing. Have you seen Samsung settings app? Good luck trying to find. Thank God they put a magnifying glass in the search bar in these settings, because as of a couple years ago, I don't think there was a search bar. I mean, I'm an inexperienced user. It would take me forever just to find one setting in a Samsung phone. And now OnePlus kind of getting like that. They're loading up OnePlus, kind of like Samsung, where they load up the operating system with just tons of stuff. It's kind of hard to find your way around if you're not familiar with it. So Google is like, the Pixel's like the easiest freaking phone to use. If anything, that's my number one complaint outside of the 200 charging limit fiasco, is it's almost too simple. It's so simple, in fact, that when my grandparents say they need to upgrade their phone, what phone should I get? I get them a Pixel because it's easy. So I don't know what this person is talking about. I'm kind of at a loss for words because I don't know what they're talking about. So it says the author expresses real regret for converting family members to the. Really? What do you want to switch them to? An iPhone? That's laughable. Good luck at that. While they still dislike the lockdown nature of iOS, they admit that for regular users, the iPhone has become the more honest recommendation for reliability in video. That's laughable. The final plea is for Google to stop chasing announcements and start finishing things. returning to the level of excellence they established in 2016. I think that is a pile of shit. Excuse my language. But I think this has got to be a hit piece. Look at this thing. Look how long this is. And dare I say they used AI to write this, now that I'm thinking about it. Who has time to write 18 paragraphs? Like, nobody has time for that. And they're taking specific hits, right? So I'm like, nah, I don't see it. And after we just examined everything, there's no way. What is he using? A Pixel 3? Like, seriously. And look how much attention this has gotten. 755 upvotes, 558 comments. And as soon as this live stream is done, I'm going to blast him. I'm going to call him out and say, you're either, for one, lying, or you're making this up and you're a fanboy, whatever, of another phone, because I don't believe that. I just flat out do not believe that. Let's see. Pixel devices like previous Nexus line. Oh yeah, we hit that one. Yo, what's going on, man? Oh yes, Nexus 4. Ooh, with the sparkly back. That was a nice phone. That was so. I actually got two of those. I had one running stock Android, and then I had another one that I flashed a custom ROM on just so I could have fun on and play around with. That was classic one too. You know, Nexus probably, out of my top 5 favorite devices, I think Nexus probably has 2 or 3 of them. I mean, oh man, I used to love Nexus devices. In fact, I wish I could get one today, just for fun. But the apps are so big. And of course, you'd have to flash a custom ROM on it. I'm not sure that it would hold up too well today, but I kind of want to get one just for shits and giggles. Oh yes, the Galaxy Nexus. Yo, how awesome would that be if Google put their software on a Samsung Galaxy phone? That would be cool. I would buy that. Back in the day, they used to do that stuff, man. Best phone for battery charging in the US is easily OnePlus, which is what I have. I agree. You know, you can't go wrong with that either, right? Like, what phone should I get? Like how I tell my family, just get a Pixel, right? But you can't go wrong with OnePlus. You can't. Battery life lasts forever. Charges in 20 minutes. It flies through operating. Cameras are good. Like, what more do you want, right? Is there any anti-reflective film on the OnePlus 15 to buy? There is, but they don't sell it in the United States. I don't know why. There is a factory OnePlus anti-reflective screen protector. Kind of like how, do I have them here? Kind of like how Samsung has their film, anti-reflective film for the new S26 Ultras, but they don't sell them in the US. So you're going to have to jump on eBay or go to an online retailer, purchase it from them, and have it shipped to you. I don't know why they don't sell it here. How's it going? Appreciate you joining us. Wow, it's a material you're not taking into the grave, sad is the world we live in. Yeah. Just about to use OnePlus Pad 3 accessories for $500. That's a nice tablet. I've never had a OnePlus tablet, but I wouldn't mind. Match your 13R, nice. InBuds 3, there you go. You're set up. Why not record on everything? Video is proof. Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing. Like, something just doesn't add, and it didn't hit me when I was reading it because I was like, when I started off reading this, I was like, what? Like the first few paragraphs I got through, I'm like, what the hell? And now that I'm looking at it and going through, finishing the last, 25% that I didn't get to, I'm like, this definitely doesn't add up. Something, yeah, put it on video, right? Exactly. Shit. If Pixels had better hardware, they would be way better. What better hardware? Like what hardware? And it's an honest question. I'm not calling you out or your comment, but I'm honestly asking you, like what better hardware? Because I think they have I think they got pretty good hardware. Now, if you want to go to the silicone, the CPU, I get it. I'll hear the argument, but the display is the M14 OLED panel. The cameras are flagship. The Gorilla Glass they use is top notch. The back panel is all glass. It's a metal frame. The speakers they use as parts wise are top notch Actually, the Pixel 10 Pro and Pro XL have the loudest, clearest speakers I've ever heard, ever on any smartphone. Just phenomenal sound. When I'm talking without Bluetooth, just blasting a song with these speakers on, it's loud. The microphones, Google has the best. I'll take this to my grave. Has the best microphones, the best audio, on-device audio, out of any phone in history. It's been that way for the last few years. Just phenomenal audio. So the microphones are good hardware. So that's how I'm just asking you honestly. I don't know what more better hardware anybody can ask for, right? Yeah, disappearing. I have no clue. I'm certainly not deleting them unless there's a moderator deleting them, but I don't know why they would be deleting them. Interesting. Yeah, the Google Play Edition. The Motorola phones back in the day, I had some Motorola 1, something like that. Had a number of those. The X4, that was a great phone. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna leave a comment on that thread. Not a mean one, but just saying, how do you say I don't believe you nicely? I don't believe you, I guess. Anyways, so let's do this before we move on. Let's do this. I wanted to get to this. The best change Google could make is to replace the power button in an anti-reflective screen. Otherwise, love the shape, MagSafe, and look. Yeah. So if that's probably the number one thing that bugs me is the power button placement, because I don't know why they did this. Did they do this just to be different? Because if they did, please just go back to normal. If you use a number of devices, not like every day, but every so often, if you go use your from a Samsung to a Pixel or anything, you're going to be mashing the wrong button all the time. I continually do that all day. In fact, it's so bad, I'm flipping between devices. I'll have to take a look and see, damn, where's the power button on this phone? Because I'm always pushing the wrong one. Because Pixel, for some reason, has to put the power button on top, while everybody else puts the power button below the volume rocker. I'm always pushing the wrong button. So I'm like, that's why on my case reviews, that's why I always spot out the case companies that put like a little dot on, they individualize each button. So if you're not looking at it, you can tell which button you're pushing. That's the stuff I like, because I'm always pushing the wrong button, thanks to Google and their placement of power buttons. But yes, honestly, I'm surprised we're at this point and more phone companies have not implemented anti-reflective displays. I know this is what Samsung's third year with anti-reflection? It was the S24, right? Yeah, and then S25, and then the S26, we took a step back. So 3 years in, I'm kind of surprised. Now, Apple chose to join the party with their 17 series, but I'm surprised Google hasn't done that yet, right? I hope they do. I hope with the Pixel 11, that is one feature I'm sad to let go with my S25 Ultra. There's an enormous difference between anti-reflection. The S26 Ultra, just not. Actually, it's basically the S24. It's probably the worst out of all three, S24, S25, S26 Ultra, as far as anti-reflection. Probably the worst out of the three. If I had to rank them, the very best would be S25 Ultra, S24 Ultra, and then S26 Ultra. It's not really that reflective anymore, and that sucks, because that's a baller feature. I absolutely love that. And an anti-reflective screen protector, let's face it, it's just not the same, right? I mean, you can put them on there, but it's just not the same. So yes, I hope Google does implement anti-reflection in the Pixel 11 series. That would be awesome. That would definitely be awesome. Speaking of Samsung displays, so look what I found today. Samsung finally admits the S26 Ultra's screen quality not as good as the S25 Ultra screen quality. So all of the people out there that left nasty comments under my videos, turns out I was right. Now, I'm not the I told you so type of person, but again, I'm shocked that people, I don't know if they don't believe me or they think I'm hating on Samsung. Look, there's not an enormous difference, right? There is not an enormous difference, but there's just something slightly off. And I think that's exactly what Samsung was getting at today when they made the statement and or put out the release that, yeah, it's not as good as the S25 Ultra. Now, that's kind of shocking because everybody was anticipating this new OLED display that they've waited so long to put on their new devices. In fact, they've outfitted Google Pixel with their newest OLED displays. They outfitted Apple iPhone with their latest OLED displays, while Samsung's flagship was using a 2-year-old OLED display. Well, now we got the new display everybody wanted, but something's off, right? It's kind of disappointing. In fact, the number one reason why for people that purchased an S26 Ultra originally from pre-order, the number one reason why they're returning the device is because of this display. Now, whether the angles are off or, the viewing angles are slightly less, whether the color grade is not there, whether the brightness is just doesn't get as bright, or the anti-reflection, you just can't see it as well in the sun, whatever it is, people are returning them just because something is slightly off. So again, is it a disaster, right? No, it's still a beautiful display. PWM, people getting lots of eye strain. Yes, it happens. Returning it for that reason. Now, fortunately, it has not bothered me enough for me to return the phone. Plus, I have a YouTube channel to try and, keep in order with the latest flagships. So I'm not returning mine. But if I did not have a YouTube channel, I'd probably stick with my S25 Ultra. It's a great phone. Again, beautiful display. It's pretty freaking close. And everybody knows Samsung, at least up until this point, has had the best displays. But something's just slightly off. But everybody's different. So, but Samsung did mention today that it is a little different, right? So I'm gonna link this article down below after the video is done. I was in a rush to get this stream started and I didn't link the articles, but come back when this is over. Click on the title to expand the description box down below, and I'll have these articles listed there for you when this is over, just a few minutes after this is over, because it is interesting to look at, right? So this shows you under a microscope, the difference can be seen clearly. Privacy display shuts off half of the pixels when it's activated. And yes, I know not everybody is going to be running privacy shade, privacy display on all throughout the day. I understand that, right? I think most people understand that. But the pixel structure is different even when it's turned off, right? And I think that may be what I'm hinting at and what some other people are hinting at when they say it's just slightly off. That could be why. But there is a noticeable difference when you look at it under a microscope, and that's what we have exactly right here for you. Let me take this off real quick so everybody can see. This is the S25 Ultra on the left, S26 Ultra on the right with privacy display off. So obviously the S25 Ultra doesn't have privacy shade. So with the S26 Ultra on the right off, these are with the 2 pixels in the OLED displays look like, right? When you compare, you can see there is a difference, right? Now, this is a little more magnified. So this is what the S26 Ultra looks like with privacy display on. So let me scoot it up here a little bit and so we can see exactly what it looks like. Top left, S25 Ultra. Top right, S26 Ultra. No privacy display. Bottom, S26 Ultra, privacy display on. So you can see, now I don't know if that's in maximum mode or in regular mode, because when you turn privacy shade on, you have two options. You have just the regular shade and then you can go maximum shade. So I don't know which one this is on the bottom, but you can see what it looks like, right? Samsung's largely advertised privacy display as if it has no impact on the display whatsoever when it's turned off, but the company is owning up to that fact today. Yes, there is a difference. So let's see what Samsung has to say. Samsung says, privacy display is designed to protect users' privacy by providing a vivid visual experience for using the phone in normal use cases. Some variation will be seen when the phone is held at certain angles and when set to maximum brightness. However, any impact on actual usage when holding the phone should be negligible. Did they even... What? So that's basically whoever put this statement out, whoever the Samsung PR person, marketing rep, very clever the way they worded that, because if you filter through the BS, they're saying, yeah, it's different, but that's a word salad put together to sound real proper and explaining features, what it can do, and yeah, it should be negligible. Huh? It looks different. We can tell from the freaking microscope. It looks different. So they're basically saying it without saying it, right? I mean, I don't know. Let me know what you think, but that's basically what it sounds like to me. Quote unquote, some variation in viewing angles is certainly true. And Samsung is right that any impact in actual usage is negligible at best. The S26 Ultra display is objectively not quite as good as the one found on the previous S25 Ultra, but as I mentioned earlier, it's still great, right? Again, I'm not returning mine. I've been using mine every day for the last couple days. It's fine to me. Now, I'm never going to turn my privacy screen on, probably ever, after recording that video last week. So what do I care? But it's a nice display. It's not gonna blind you. It's not, well, could give you a headache, but that's a whole different story if your eyes are sensitive to PWM. But overall, it's a good display. It's a great display. It just goes to show you how good the S25 Ultra display is, because the S26 Ultra still great, but just not as good as the S25 Ultra. So that means the S25 Ultra way up here. Way up here. So you know, it is what it is, but at least Samsung made a statement in regards to that. So I guess now we can put that to bed, that technically, yeah, there is a difference. Samsung said so, just in a word salad. But brightness for each eye, that could cause eye fatigue. Yeah, that's probably what's doing it. No physical SIM card slot in the US. You must be talking about the Pixel. Yes, it sucks. Now, here is a tip. If you want to get a Pixel 10 or 10 series, a Pixel 10, Pixel 10a, Pixel 10 Pro, Pixel 10 Pro XL, or a Pixel 10 Pro Fold, you can get one with a physical SIM card. Here's the trick. You got to find a Pixel for sale or one that was sold in Canada, originally from Canada. The Pixels sold in Canada have a physical SIM card slot, and they are unlocked for all carriers worldwide. A lot of people don't know that, but since you bring that up, I appreciate you reminding me. that yes, all Canadian Pixel 10s have a SIM card slot, and they're unlocked for all carriers. So if you gotta have a SIM card slot, get out and jump on eBay, find a retailer in Canada online that sells the Pixel 10, whatever Pixel 10 you want, buy it, get it delivered to you. And if you go to GSM Arena and you look at the Canadian variant, it has all the 5G bands and 4G bands that T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon have. So you should be totally fine. That would be my suggestion to you. If you gotta have a Pixel 10 series with a SIM card slot, the Canadian Pixel 10 is your Pixel. Brightness for each eye, yes. Yeah. When they went to eSIM only, yeah, that I don't know, we're eSIM studios, yes, but it's still taking me a little while to get used to eSIM, and it sucks. It should be an option. I don't know. It's so, as I mentioned earlier, I've been switching. I got all these phones here. I've been switching my SIM card, boom, 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 left and right. Like every other day, I'm putting my SIM card in another phone. It's so easy. You just slap it in, slap it out, boom, boom, boom. You're good to go. Instead, you got to scan QR codes. You got to do this. You got to do that. You have to have the old phone. We don't have to, but it makes it a lot easier. What if you sell the phone, right? And you're like, oh shit, I need a new eSIM, but I can't transfer it because I sold that old phone. That happened to me once. But you just got to call the carrier. They'll fix it for you. They'll send you an email with a QR code or whatever. I don't. Just call your carrier and they'll get you straight. But stuff like that still sucks. I agree. Give us physical SIM, damn it. Samsung loves to make a step back and fix the self-made issue next year. Yes, they do. And next year on my S27 Ultra wish list, now that we know they're in crisis emergency management mode, I'm not sure they will fix a lot of stuff next year. Did y'all see that video I put out yesterday? Their mobile division's their budget's getting cut by 30%. Yikes. So it doesn't leave much room for extra money to buy all these extra expensive parts, right? The cost of parts have skyrocketed, not just GPUs and CPUs and memory, speakers, vibration motors, mid frames, these little cables in there, brackets, everything's going up. So one thing I wish they would bring back that I think is gone forever is the Bluetooth S Pen. They were supposed to bring it back in this S26 Ultra. They didn't bring it back. I think it's gone for forever. Honestly, I don't see them bringing that back. And it sucks, right? It sucks. Good Bluetooth certification, that's not cheap. And they're trying to cut every corner they can now. I don't see them bringing it back. The best change Google could do or could make is replace the power button and enter. Oh yeah, I already read that. My bad. Yeah. So maybe we'll get into this and then get out of here. So dbrand brought up, I saw this today and I was like, what? Is that true? Apparently it is. So why do they do these things? I don't know. Who makes these decisions? Some of these just don't make sense. And it's little stuff like this that rubs me the wrong way, that really gets under my skin. It's Samsung. So what's going on? The S26 Ultra will only activate super fast wireless charging if you have a Samsung case on your phone. Really? So no other wireless charging case, no other. So my Thinborn case for my S26 Ultra with the MagSafe ring in there. So you're telling me this won't activate fast wireless charging? What are we going to do with Samsung? That is bullshit. Excuse my language. So if you want super fast wireless charging, you're going to have to use a Samsung case with a MagSafe ring in it. Just very disappointing. Now, I came across this article earlier today and was so busy, did not have time to test it. I'm actually going to test this tomorrow and upload it to my channel, because I'm gonna hold my judgment. But dbrand is making this statement. Dbrand came out with a statement today saying super fast wireless charging on a Samsung S26 Ultra is only enabled if you're using a wireless charging case from Samsung. So if you have a wireless charging case from dbrand or Thinborn, it won't activate fast wireless charging. You will be bumped down to 15 watts. And it's very disappointing. I obviously know why they're doing this. It just rubs me the wrong way, because this is just another way for them to nickel and dime consumers by forcing you to purchase cases from Samsung to activate this fast wireless charging. This is one area that I did not mention in my video yesterday, where Samsung mobile division, among other divisions in Samsung too, it's not just their mobile division. It's all, well, not all, but most all of the other divisions are getting budget cuts for next year. Samsung mobile division is getting a 30% reduction in budget next year. Well, they're strapped for cash, right? And that's where I did not want them to go down this road where they nickel and dime consumers, because you know why? Who does this? Apple. Apple's notorious for nickel and diming their customers, and it just pisses me. It's stuff like this that pisses me off. If it has 25 watt wireless charging, if it's capable of 25 watt wireless charging, don't force us to buy a $70 case to activate this feature. That is total bullshit. And that I will call Samsung out on, because that, it just, it's total bullshit. And that's one of the reasons, many reasons why I hate Apple. So yes, you will see me hate on Apple, because I cannot stand Apple as a company or as a manufacturer. So I don't want to see Samsung going down that road. And as time goes on, it looks like Samsung's going down that road. Now, there's a number of other ways that they can force you to kind of nickel and dime you, although I haven't heard of this one specifically until today. Now, I haven't tested wireless charging, obviously, but I'm going to have to now. So I'll definitely put out a video on this tomorrow, because the more I think about it, the more pissed off I get at Samsung. So, and I'll definitely at them in this video and or the video tomorrow. And if it's true, they need to be called out for this stuff, quite frankly. And I'm surprised that I haven't really watched many S26 Ultra videos on YouTube, because I'm trying to mold my own opinion. But I certainly have not seen this information, news, and or testing on YouTube. Now, I'm not going to rush out there just so I can be the first one. No, I'm going to test it for myself, because this really bothers me. But I'm surprised nobody's said anything yet. The phone's been out for a couple weeks now, and it's just total bullshit. So sorry for the language. I'm trying not to curse on this channel, but stuff like this gets me upset. I don't want to be forced to have to buy something for a feature to work. All right. I have no idea. I have no idea. I can find out for you. So they're asking iPad 12th generation launch date. To be honest with you, I have no clue, but let's find out. Where's my keyboard? What is it? Apple iPad 12th gen launch date. Let's see. It says here 2 weeks ago. Somebody's asking, so when is the iPad 12th gen coming out? And the person said the iPad 12 probably won't have an event because it came out on March 4th. It's out already. So that's what they're saying. Tomorrow will be the cheap iPad MacBook day. You know what? That really didn't give us an answer, did it? Okay, here we go. The launch date for the iPad 12th gen remains unclear, though suggested spring 2026 release. It was not part of Apple's March 2026 release. Okay, so springtime, I guess. Spring 2026. So should be right around the corner, right? We're in spring right now, right? Yeah, because it'd be winter, spring, fall, summer. Summer, fall. I don't know. Not out yet, but it should be soon. It should be soon. So, right around the corner. I'm not an iPad user. I've had one, but I just can't get into iOS. But I like the way they look. I just don't like using them. But I appreciate you asking. And maybe I'll make a note for myself when they come out. We will see what specs they got and cover some of that. So, I am going to get out of here. I do appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm going to link, as soon as this is over, I'm going to link these articles that we discussed and put them in the video description. So if you want to check out any of the stuff that we talked about today, come back to this video maybe in a few minutes, click on the title, expand the description box, and I'll have them down there for you. I'll do that right now. But again, I really appreciate your time. Please be safe this afternoon. Have an enjoyable but safe afternoon. And we'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to put out do I even have a fast wireless charger? I may have to jump on Amazon and buy one for the video tomorrow. But I'm going to put a video out on the wireless charging tomorrow. And we have a ton of case reviews I'm going to upload. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to do another giveaway probably on Friday. So if you want cases, Cash Apps, Amazon gift cards, subscribe to our eSIM Studios YouTube channel, and we conduct them on our live streams. And don't forget, in about 2 months, we're going to do a phone giveaway. So make sure you subscribe. Peace. Shame on you, Samsung. Shame.